Well, it's a week after E3.
Yep.
We would have had these videos done earlier, but things got ahead of time, and we got lost in the time warp.
E3 just absorbs you.
It makes you get really tired and makes you sleep and go into hibernation.
And we weren't even there.
And then take a nap. And then doze off.
That's just you after you eat an apple.
Anyway, we're going to talk about the 3 major conferences and not the third-party ones. And then we're going to probably have another one later on that talks about all of the things and all our thoughts about the show itself. Yeah. Overall, it wasn't that great.
Well, let's get started with Microsoft.
Let's start with E3 with Microsoft. We'll start with the main thing of the major third-party games. We'll start with Modern Warfare 3. It was the beginning. It was the first level demo. Did the exact same thing as everything else.
It looks really nice. It's Epic Destruction, World War III. It's the same as it is most every time we see it.
Every time it gets to the third game.
It's always sneak, fight, escape. That's always the same thing. And so we see it again here, again looking beautiful.
This time it's a sub, though, and you're underwater, so at least they have better cool effects.
And the big thing here is that you can get download content.
That's always the case, because let's face it, a lot of people think that pretty much the 360 is Call of Duty system.
All right,
then you have Tomb Raider, which comes out next fall. Kind of weird to demo that when the game's got a year and a half to go.
It's a reboot of the series, and it looks like they just are making a game to hurt Laura.
Yeah, she fell down and got herself impaled on a stick and pulled it out of her, and she didn't die. That's what I was surprised about.
They're going for an Uncharted feel, but they really are going for a really gritty feel, and that may or may not be in its favor. We have to see it further down the road.
Now, EA Sports came out and said pretty much that Kinect support will appear to FIFA, Madden, Tiger Woods, and that's pretty much all they said about it. Not even like a little hint of what's going to happen.
That's what they did.
Just basic statement. Mass Effect 3 will have connectability.
Yep. Vocal recognition.
So when you're talking to people, you can use that, and you can also use that to give commands to people. And Tony was right about how hardcore games are essentially hybrids. And then we have Ghost Recon Future Soldier with connectability,
which uses that building of a gun thing, which is a cool concept.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's actually going to be used in the real game itself. Yeah. I think it's just used as a novelty.
Actually, based on what I'm hearing, a lot of people were mocking the whole handle that sort of thing because people found it to be relatively stupid. But what are you going to do? Hey, Child of Eden comes out this week, so you're going to be doing this a lot. Then after that, they came out. I was into the third parties. They came out and said, "Here's a new Xbox experience,
a new OS." This is the 4th time we've gotten a new OS,
and this time it's about vocal recognition
and also about live TV.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. First things first. YouTube will now be playable on Xbox Live, and yet there's no web browsing on the Xbox 360, but there's YouTube on it. So I don't know. Bing is going to Xbox. So you can go Xbox Bing. Harry Potter, and it'll find Harry Potter.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan.
Xbox Bing, good game, and it'll try and give you a good game.
The problem is that I'm not a big fan of Bing in general. It doesn't work.
You can't do Google because Bing is Microsoft.
Yeah.
Live television, you said already, coming to Xbox. There's rumors that there's going to be an actually more expensive plan if you want IPTV. Probably true. Then we also had some UFC Xbox Live coming with virtual betting.
Yeah, so now you can actually bet, and it's the money that's used to watch the event. So either way, you're going to lose the money anyway.
Yeah,
so they get some back. Make some back.
I don't think you're actually making real money back. You're spending real money to watch it, though. And, of course, the UFC last because it's kind of to appeal to the Spike TV audience that's watching. By the way, this is the only one that actually aired on Spike TV, if I recall. Everything else aired on
Actually,
T4.
And it wasn't even allowed to air on anything else.
Yeah.
Spike owned the rights to air that.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Then we got back to first-party games. Gears of War 3.
Yes.
The best thing that you can... Ice-T. I say T-Bone. That's not the person. Ice-T is making a song for it. Not really worth talking about, but it's a good game. It's delayed like a whole year, it seemed, from what I was expecting.
Yeah, it came out in the spring, and now it's coming out the holiday, which I expected.
And then we had Rise, which was originally codenamed Kingdoms. Not playable, as I predicted, and the game was a first-person fighter game for the Kinect, and I was completely right about that as well.
Yes.
And so, 2012, definitely. Then we have Halo Anniversary, was the first major announcement.
Yeah, this pretty much is, they're revamping the campaign for the original Halo, and they made it look like they were going to have a multiplayer from the original, but actually it's just map packs for Halo Reach.
So if you want the old school multiplayer, you're not going to get it with Halo
sorry.
Anniversary. But you do get the ability to play a revamped version of Halo.
And it'll have online co-op, so that way you can, because that's something the first game actually
the game
missed out
might be a downloadable game. I think it's actually going to be a retail game.
But either way, it's $40.
I think it's going to be retail so that they can have special editions of it. Then we also have Forza Motorsport 4, not Forza World like I
anticipated. The big thing about this is, again, it's got a hybrid with Kinect. It has head tracking, so that way when you're driving, you actually look to the side. It's a cool concept. Yeah. I want to, hopefully, you won't do this until the whole screen will freak out.
Yeah. And
what?
You can see the television when you're looking that way. But the other thing I would say is that the inside doesn't look as good as the outside in terms
That's the same with all vehicles.
Every video game when it comes to the cars look better on the outside than on the inside. All right, then we have Fable The Journey. This was unexpected, but we guessed announced a Lionhead game was going to be shown.
It shocked us because it looked like it was actually more of a Rails game, although interviews afterwards say that was actually just a poor execution of the demo.
I beg to differ.
But it does look like the game's on Rails, and you still are doing the shooting. It's basically a rail shooter.
Yeah, and some trolls would go on to say that this is just Fable 1, the game, but in first person because the game was so linear. But that's just them, not me. Oh, and the surprise announcement from Microsoft, other than Fable, Minecraft is coming to Xbox Live.
Yeah.
The issue I have with that is that the game continually updates every month. And, they're going to have a final version, but they're going to keep updating that. They can't do that with the Xbox Live system because they keep on checking it and being like, well, we got to take a few months, they're going to drag your feet. It's not going to be that great. I mean, I'm just saying that right now.
Even though they say that Minecraft should be complete by this holiday, I honestly believe that it's going to keep growing, and the problem is if they stabilize it on a console release, it's not going to actually be able to advance as the PC version does.
So it might not actually be a good announcement, but I know it's a surprise.
It's Kinect enabled, though.
Oh, speaking of Kinect, everything else here is pretty much Kinect exclusive, and this is what their big stuff was for. This was the majority of their conference at this point on, even. Kinect Disneyland Adventure caught me off guard.
Pretty much, it's Kinect Adventures 2. It's basically you do this to move around. It takes place in Disneyland, so it's a good advantage there for exploration.
Definitely for the
hugging
kids.
Characters. This is a great thing for kids and really getting the family to go to Disneyland who can't get to Disneyland.
Who can't get to Disneyland. So you want to spend $150 to get, whatever. When Kinect Star Wars, this looked a bit rough.
It was a bit rough. Pretty much you zoom, but basically if you played Wii Sports Resort with the sword battle, this is the same thing. You basically zoom up to the next person to fight. You fight them, or the next scenario, I'm in front of a machine. What do I gotta do? I gotta pick it up and move it. And it still looked very early.
Though the trailer did have a lot of set pieces, which implies to me there's gonna be a lot to the game, more than just this stupid thing you need to do.
Hopefully it'll expand to the entire Star Wars series and not just the Clone Wars.
And we had Sesame Street, Once Upon a Monster from Double Fine and Warner Brothers. This was actually a pretty good looking game from the technical aspect, but unfortunately it comes off to me as nothing more than a minigame collection starring Elmo and Cookie Monster.
It could be, I'm not sure if it's a download game or if a release.
I think it's a full release.
Well, hopefully it'll have a lot more content because I was afraid what I saw there was pretty much a very short limit.
Yeah, it was, and every little every chapter or page was essentially a 10-second mini game, and it wasn't that intense, but it didn't look bad. It just it looked
something to play with your little kid.
Yeah. All right. Then Kudo came out wearing his shades and his grin.
I just don't like this guy. I think it's because he just comes off as a jerk.
Yeah, he had now showed off Kinect Fun Labs, which is essentially an open platform for developers with Kinect properties to inject their own content into it.
Pretty much it's a fun little toolkit to play around with. So if you have a Kinect, you get these free applications, and it's out now.
Yeah, and it's for free, too. Kinect. They had 3 games that utilize it. Kinect Me, which essentially allows you to capture yourself into an avatar. Worked pretty cool with clothes.
Some of your faces are
and don't do it naked, because it just makes you get pants that look the same color as your skin. Then we had Kinect Finger Tracking, which essentially was a drawing game where you draw a background, and then you do a foreground, and then you draw things in between. The problem is that you can only do it with the Kinect camera and nothing else.
So you can't input information.
Yeah, so it's not really that interesting. But there's Object Capture, which has got you to create a buddy out of any object you have, the front and the back, and it's supposed to create a 3D object of that.
Although the one they showed at E3 was very well done, the ones that people have been doing have been kind of choppy and a little bit blurry.
But it's free! But you can't say anything about it.
And it is a fun little character to jump around.
Alright, then you have Kinect Sports Season 2, but not by Rare, but by Big Mark Games.
This was not a surprise. We knew it was coming out. It was a big success, the first one.
Yep.
This one includes more sports, like
football
and stuff
but the game essentially does still feel on rails. And then you also have Dance Central 2.
This was no surprise.
There's no surprise.
The game did phenomenally well. It's the same thing, except now includes multiplayer and a campaign mode, which is good for players.
And to be honest, this should have been on the first version, but they clearly rushed out the first one, and then they needed to because it did very well. And they ended it, and after that they're like, oh yeah, it was all Kinect, and then they said, okay, here's a little something for you. Next holiday is Halo 4.
And actually, they started before the announcement by saying that it was sort of a new trilogy,
which implies there's going to be a 5 and a 6.
Which is disappointing, because when they said new trilogy, I was expecting a brand new game franchise or something. But no, it's Halo again. It's very early. They didn't show any gameplay. We'll have to see it next year.
Anyway, final thoughts for this particular press conference?
They really need to stay away from hiring actors to play games.
Yeah, because they do a really bad job at trying to make
when the kids, whenever they got up and did something, you clearly saw actor out of them. You didn't see them actually...
Fist bump!
Like, that didn't look... It wasn't natural at all. And so that's something that they really need to work on. It's okay to demonstrate the games, even if you're an adult. Play a kid's game and show them having fun with them.
And even if you have a kid out there, make sure the kid knows exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's like the kid from Sesame Street had some issues trying to make the game actually start, which already tells me there's going to be something wrong with the game itself. A lot of focus on Kinect. Tony was right. We were right about the Kinect for the hardcore, but there was definitely starting to lean increasingly toward full-on Kinect games, and I'm a bit concerned that they might actually just jump the shark, right into it. I'm predicting next year they're going to have a lot more games that are just Kinect exclusives.
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't personally believe it's going to stay half and half.
Yeah, we'll see. Halo will probably never leave the controller.
No.
But everything else will probably see an iteration in the Kinect front. Anyway, that's Microsoft. It was pretty good, considering it didn't have any new hardware.
It really brought the software game.
Yeah. Though, if you don't like Kinect, you probably hate this conference.
They got Halo.
Hey.
And Modern Warfare 3. I think they'll do fine.
Yep. So, there we go.
Word.